Hi friends, and welcome to day 4 of my 12 days of DIY craft making. And today we are getting into key dangles. We are going to do a cluster or like a cha-cha. Call it what you want. There are several variations, several ways to make these, and I'm so excited to jump into it. So we are in day 4, and happy Sunday, everybody. Super fun. So I've got this one that is kind of half done. Now this one again, so how you'll start, guys, is you're going to get a piece of chain, and I would recommend like a 2 to 3 inch piece of chain, right? And you can use any chain. Like in this one here, you can pretty much see throughout the middle that I have a piece of, I think that's 5mm curb chain, and it's probably 2 inches. I can pull you down so you can see it there. Okay, and all I did on this one, I'm just making simple loops on ball-end head pins and attaching the loops directly to the chain, and the chain runs right up the center, right? And again, you can make this as full or whatever and long as you want. And now I have a link. Let me get my pliers. That is my top link right there. Okay, so there is my top link of my chain. All of my little clusters, all I've done, guys, is just add them one at a time, going from the top, bottom to the top, right? And you usually add about around 3 or 4 dangles per link of chain. And that's how I like to make them, so it's, you know, nice and full. Right? And so here's my top link of chain right here. Now what I'm going to want to do on this one is I am going to go ahead and wire wrap my focal bead. And again, you can use a focal bead or not, right? But I'm going to use my focal. I'm going to wire wrap it to this last link of chain and then directly to my component, and then see where I'm at for the rest of my beads. And I do have a couple we need to make together, so I will show you exactly how to do that if you're new. These are just literally making simple loops, guys. So that's what we're going to do first. So I am going to cut about a 2.5 inch piece of 20 gauge craft wire, okay? And we'll do a simple wire wrap loop. And so I'm going to go right here, about 1 inch down, and I'll put my right bend in, and then I'll go in with my round nose right in that bend, and I want to make my loop a pretty decent size, and again, that's so it will freely go about on the ring. It won't be stuck. It'll freely like go around, right? And so I'm going to go to the bottom of my round nose right there, pull that wire up and hug the front, and then I am going to push it to the back. And now notice on my plier there how there's a gap, right? There's a gap between this wire and over here. And I need that to be like that, right? Because I have to get my chain on first. So again, let me find the last link of my chain. I think it's somewhere right in here. I think it's that one. Okay, right there. So there's my last link of chain. And I'm going to feed that right there in my loop. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close that up. I just need really like 1.5 to 2 wraps right here. That just is going to make sure it's secure. We have our loop wire wrapped to that last link of our chain, and that chain is going all the way through the center. We fed all of our dangles on, right? Now I'll put my focal bead up on the top. And there we go. All right, that's what you have right there. And now we'll go ahead and we'll put our pliers over the top of that bead really tight, and I'll make my right bend. And now we will make, again, a decent size loop. Put our pliers right in that bend, push the wire up and over, push the plier away from us, continue to push the wire all the way around. So that's what you have. And then we will now slip our keyring component on. And the reason I do it this way is, again, to make sure that my loop is big enough. And I'll expand on that in 1 second. So I'm just going to hold that loop, and now I'll go ahead and wrap that around to fill up that space. Usually it's about 3 wraps. Okay. Trim off the excess of that and tuck that in. Okay, so the reason I wire wrapped it that way, guys, is for the reasons I've said, right? To make sure that it's going to freely be able to move about. Now, obviously, you can just make a wire wrap loop, and when you're done, just go ahead and open up your keyring component and feed it right on. But the reason I didn't do that is what I just said. I wanted to make sure that my loop was big enough to where it was going to freely move about my keyring, which it does. It doesn't get stuck anywhere. So that's what you want, right? So now this is what you have. And so now what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to fill up this portion right here, including my wire wrap loop, with the remaining of my beads. And I'll pull you up a little bit. And so I have some pre-made. All right, and I just did simple loops, guys, and we'll do a couple in a minute. And so all I do is I'm just going to go on here and kind of see where I feel like they need to be. And this is literally just creativity, guys. This is so much fun. This is literally something that you can do with your kids, your teenagers, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews. This is something so fun where, you know, you can be working with the components, the metal, and, you know, having them, you know, work with you and tell you, oh no, put this here, put that one there. You know, so long as you're supervising, right? It's something really, really fun, especially your teenagers, you know, getting into the teenage, age group. You know, this is something that they would probably really love and be like, oh, I want to make one for my friend for her phone wallet, or, you know, for her house key, you know, or her locker keys, or the college kids. So this is something that's such a fun project, friends. You can really get into having some fun, make it a little party, with your loved ones, or even your adult friends, you know, and have a, you know, party, you know, Friday night, invite everybody over, whatever, Saturday night. And guys, we're going to make key dangles and cha-chas and purse charms. This is so much fun that you can really make a party of it. Because I'll tell you, everybody, let me get another pair of pliers, would appreciate a gift like this. And it's literally like the coolest thing ever. If you've got a ton of beads, a bead soup, whatever, invite a bunch of people over, to where everybody is picking out beads from your stash, and that one is just not behaving. There we go. And deciding, you know, and once you start to show them how to make the simple loops and, you know, cut the chain, I mean, what a fun evening that would be with the girls, right? So that's what we have. So now I just want to put a few more. Just want to add a few more up on the top here. So I'll put the light with that. So I'll put it onto the mat. And this is what I have. And so you can see, nice and full, super cute. That's what mine looks like. And I want to make 2 more. So I'm just gonna put this head pin through a bead, right? We can just put a little bend in it. We will use our finger as a guide. So easy, guys. Just use the width of your finger as a guide like that. And go ahead and cut the excess. And then we'll roll in a simple loop. Just like that. Okay, and then we'll do it on my last bead here. And these are 24 gauge, so they're super pliable. Just put our right bend in there. And then I will rest the bead up against my finger using the width of my finger as a guide. Just makes it super easy. Nothing complicated. It's supposed to be fun anyway. We're crafting. And roll in a simple loop. Just like that. And now we will pop these loops open and determine where they need to go. So when I put this kind of in front of me, I'm thinking that I'm seeing a little bit of a gap, kind of right here. Yeah, the fuller we get, you know, the more challenging they are to get right where you need them to go. But like you can see, not impossible. I'm getting it. I'm doing it. And if you have a jewelry business, guys, and you sell your jewelry, this is a really great thing if you're going to be out and about at like your church bazaars and things like that. This is, you know, are they time consuming? Yes, but this is really something, guys, that, you know, make a couple, you know, just see if you can get 3 or 4, maybe 5 done, because this will be a hit. And you can probably really get a lot of attention just by the bling of these to your booth or whatever. Be a great idea. Everybody can use one of these. Okay, there's the last one right there. And let me get that closed. And voila. There we go. Let me pull you up. And we are all done. And that's what that one looks like. I'll pull you down to the mat again. That's what that one looks like. Super cute. So kind of a little short, probably only about 1 3/4 to 2 inches. So it's really perfect. And even though these are like mermaid and glass beads, it's actually not even very heavy. That's why I made it shorter. It's not that heavy at all. So I really love that. And again, you know, this is something so fun that, you know, somebody can take it off this. And if they have a clip or something on a bag or a phone wallet, they can clip this loop onto something else. So these are just really versatile too, guys. So that's what mine looks like. Super cute. And there's my black one. And then there's this version right here is one of my favorites. This is the kind that I have on my keys. I love it. But I love chain and I love tassels. So there you go. Let me pull you up and give you guys an opportunity to do a screenshot for day 4 of our 12 days of DIY craft making. We've completed day 4. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow for day 5. And until then, guys, be blessed.